Right, boys, this is why you're not making any money as an OnlyFans management agency in 2024. As always, I'm Mason. I'm a six-figure per month OnlyFans manager, and you can see results in previous videos. You can even go ahead and check out some of the links below where you can find out a lot more about my personal life, even check in with my Telegram where I show daily results and give you game on how you can get started today. So let's get straight into it, because I'm going to be covering a few topics today, some very important and crucial as to why you're not making money in 2024 with your OFM. And listen, stay to the end if you want to find out the main one. So reason number one, low quality models. And this is a major one as well, because this is where your whole ceiling is going to be capped on how much your agency can actually earn in terms of revenue generated, which is only going to result in profit for your pocket. So one of the first things is maybe potentially you have a low quality model, and this is for the reason that she just doesn't complete content in a timely manner. Now, you might have a lazy model that is unable to fulfill your requests. For example, with marketing content, you need to get a certain amount of reels out per day in order to be consistent with the platform to get rewarded by the algorithm, in order so that you're going to have them results on the back end, subscribers to the page. But if your model is making 2, 3, 5 reels a week, you're barely going to be able to post out consistently on one account, let alone multiple accounts. And so this is only going to hinder your results, your progress. And the other side of this is the fact that when she's actually giving you this content, you might need to give her feedback. And if it's taken her a week, 2 weeks to action the feedback that you're giving her, she's never going to be able to make the quality of content in order to compete in today's day and age of OnlyFans management. You know, there's girls out there, I'm going to be using reels as an example. There's girls out there who are posting super high quality reels consistently across multiple accounts, and you're there barely even able to post consistently on one account with low quality content. You're just never going to be able to generate the results in order to have the profitable agent. So we covered there, lazy. The other side of things is poor content. So say your model's from a third world country. Maybe she's only got a Nokia brick to record content on. She hasn't got the newest iPhone or at least some level of decent camera quality to record this content. You're not going to be able to get the quality required to be rewarded by the platforms again. You know, if she's giving you blurry images, if she's giving you blurry videos that are just not even of the right angles, not of the right lighting. There's all these tiny little factors that play a part. But again, I'm not getting into the ins and outs of marketing in this video. I'm just giving you some examples of why maybe your agency isn't profitable and what you can do about this. So what we'll get onto next is what you can actually do about this. It's recruitment, right? And this is the thing with recruitment, you need to constantly be doing it. And this isn't, again, a recruitment video specifically, but the way you're going to solve having low quality models is by having lead generation system that you have in place, so that you have a bunch of models coming through the door that you can then obviously select the best. You can continue and flourish with those who are good quality and go on to generate the results required to make your agency profitable, required to make their accounts profitable. Because remember, you're 9 times out of 10 on a revenue split or a net profit revenue split, whatever you want to call it. And so your direct best interest is in growing their account. And if that isn't theirs as well, you're then going to be capped. You know, it's a 50-50 agreement. So if she can't fulfill her end of the bargain, I say you get rid of it, stop wasting your time, because there's only so much you can do without her in the picture. So recruitment ticked off. You need to have a high quality model, or at least multiple high quality models in your agency to be able to make it profitable. Number 2, not tracking what you're spending. And now I see so many agencies coming into the industry and just not doing this, not having a simple spreadsheet, a Google sheet, tracking what you're spending on the agency, even where your time's being spent, you know, taking it that step further, that level of detail further, which is going to enable you to, you know, analyze what's going on, what's going wrong, what's going right. A lot of people just aren't doing this. They're just so het up in the day-to-day, in the I've got to do this here and now, and just cracking out tasks and trying to outsource tasks, which I'm going to get onto in a minute, which is really just slowing them down in the long run. So when you're not tracking what you spend to versus what you make. So you might have a model come through the door and all of a sudden you've bought her a new iPhone, you've then bought an iPhone for yourself for posting, you've then bought a Reddit account, you've then bought some age Twitter accounts, you've bought some TikTok accounts, you've then maybe outsourced Reddit to a VA, he's now doing everything, and all of a sudden you're out of pocket by, I don't know, maybe you spent £1,000, right? Ballpark figure. This model turns around the next day and she actually just goes ghost. Would you then? You're £1,000 out of pocket. You have gained a few assets there, the Reddit account, the phone, but in the long run, you need to be tracking what you're spending and you need to make it proportionate to that model. You know, to start out with, maybe you don't have all of this available to you, and that's fine. You have to make use of what you got. Even when I started out, little story, I didn't have anything. I had my iPhone, I had an old laptop, and I got to work. I made it work, right? And I put more hours in each day in order so that I wasn't outsourcing to a VA early on, or some of these kind of things that people do, and then they don't understand the ROI on what they're doing. So people outsource to a VA, pay him $20 a day, whatever it is, to do this task, and they're not seeing, okay, are subscribers being generated for that Reddit posting on VA? Are subscribers coming in, or am I getting views on the Instagram reels that Reddit VA or that Instagram VA is posting? You need to start tracking this stuff. Tracking your metrics is what is going to allow you to, down the line, know what your business is making, learn what you can really efficiently reinvest and take out as profit for yourself. Because at the end of the day, we're not running this business model to make no cash, especially in the long run. You don't just want to reinvest without ever taking some money out for your personal pocket. That's why you're working at this at the end of the day. That's why you quit your job. That's why you left the 9 to 5, so you can go and work for yourself, but at least attain some level of lifestyle that you wanted to achieve. So this is going to bring me on to point B of not tracking what you're spending versus what you're making. And so this is also going to be different for each model. Maybe some models have blown up on Instagram, on Twitter, and now you've got a larger chunk of profit that their account is generating. You've got 24/7 chatters on. Also tracking what your chatters cost, tracking what they make, working out the direct ROI of the chatter on that shift for that account, how you might be able to improve or move chatters around if they've got good performance at certain times of the day. There's a bunch of different metrics that you can track in order to make sure your agency is the most profitable, the most streamlined that it can be. So moving on to point B is where to actually reinvest. Where like now you have that little bit of extra cash, can you go and spend the money? Acquiring assets, so acquiring phones, outsourcing tasks, bringing recruiters on that you can pay, maybe even on a retainer if they're doing a good job, maybe paying them a slightly higher percentage. Investing another thing into your knowledge. And this is another thing which I'd never see people doing. Maybe they bought one course a year ago and they think that information is still up to date and relevant to this day. Maybe they bought access to a private network which is actually kind of crumbled, and they've never looked to get into a new one which is up-to-date information with a bunch of fresh, young, hungry individuals who are all killing it in this space. So there's just a couple of ways that you could more profitably reinvest into yourself. Even going ahead and setting aside some time for yourself. Another thing, people know that time is money, and so when you start thinking about it in this way, you'll understand that sometimes you need a little bit of time out of the game to reassess your moves on the chessboard. See where you can go and make the next best move. A lot of times there's 1,000 moves to make, and sometimes you just can't make 999 of them. So you've got to choose the best move to make next and make sure that you do it. Another thing, this is more towards on the scaling part of things for the more advanced people, is outsourcing menial tasks to employees and even bringing somebody early on so that you're not only seeing maybe a direct ROI of them being there. Maybe they're not a beast to start with, but that training that you're giving them 1 month, 2 months, 3 months down the line, they're going to be able to overtake a lot of your tasks and be able to pass off a lot to them. This is going to allow you to then focus on some higher ROI tasks with the business, recruiting, taking model calls, working on building out a better outreach system so you can have these high quality models coming through the door. So many ways that people aren't playing the game correctly, which is just hindering them and making sure their agencies stay at zero. Right, and now I'm getting on to the last point. If you've stayed to this one, you really wanted to know why your agency is not profitable, and this is the harsh truth, right? Maybe you're simply just not good enough. So I know a bunch of people in this industry. I've got my own private group as well, and I see people always coming through the door and they want to figure out why they've not had any success with OnlyFans. Well, 1, they didn't have access to the information up to date, which is required in order to succeed in this industry today. 2, they didn't have a network who's also working at the same business model, acquiring different bits of information, passing it over just through a simple text, not themselves having to go down this huge trial and error route. 3, so they're simply not even been able to action the right steps in order to achieve success with the OnlyFans Management Agency. So they're just chasing their tail, going round in circles, never even having progress to the point of profitability. Okay, so to round things up, some of the problems that I've stated here in this video are things that you've encountered. Don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. I have a solution to many of your problems. Go ahead and check out my Telegram group directly below. This is a free channel where I give daily game, insight to my life and how you can succeed in OFM. What you can go ahead and do is, if you found anything in this video interesting, book a call directly with myself and I'll explain how we can get you right, how we can make your agency significantly more profitable and put you on the path of progress ASAP. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Hopefully you can take a few key gems away from this video, go ahead and action them into your agency and start seeing profits roll. As always, it's been Money Mace. I'm out.